Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the whole effing show on Twitch and Facebook. And if this is your first time tuning in, make sure to go to your Twitch TV. Make sure to go to your Facebook account and type in the whole effing show. And we start the quarterfinals for the whole effing show side of the GM Wars Undisputed Heavyweight title. With the man of many names. Some know him as the Architect. Some know him as Mr. Money in the Bank. Some know him as the Beast Slayer. Some know him as Seth Rollins. And tonight, Seth Rollins might have the biggest challenge out of any other person in this tournament. He is the person who got randomly selected to go one-on-one in a best 2 out of 3's Extreme Rules match, no less, with Andre the Giant. Anything could happen. But man, does Seth Rollins have a big hill to climb here tonight? What a huge win this could be for Seth Rollins, though, if he's able to pull this off. Seth Rollins, who came up short at Starrcade in the Elimination Chamber matchup with a huge opportunity. Andre the Giant so tall he blocks the Titantron. It's ridiculous. Easily towering over the ropes, Andre the Giant, 1-0. And his only appearance, it was on a Rampage episode, with the $1 Million Man defeating the Macho Man and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in a classic tag team matchup. Here tonight, the 8th wonder of the world looks to, wait a minute, are you kidding me? Seth Rollins with the curb stomp to Andre the Giant. But Andre the Giant already getting right back to his feet. Seth Rollins goes for a top rope dive, but Andre the Giant catches him. And Seth Rollins able to kick out. And how discouraging this has to be for Seth Rollins. After hitting a curb stomp, Andre the Giant back to his feet almost immediately. Seth Rollins using his speed to his advantage, catching Andre the Giant off guard early in this matchup. I don't think anybody saw that happening. But now, Enziguri not enough to take Andre down to his... And Seth Rollins with the knee straight to the spine of Andre the Giant. Seth Rollins breaking out every move in the arsenal, trying to keep the Giant down. And speed kills, and today that looks to be the case. Seth Rollins is putting on a show right now. And Seth Rollins with the second curb stomp, but he didn't go for the pin. Instead, Seth Rollins able to get the first fall of this matchup. I don't think anybody saw that. Seth Rollins just needs one more pin to be the first person to advance to the semifinals of the GM Wars Undisputed Heavyweight Title Tournament. Side for the whole effing show, who will take on the winner of the Fresh and Frost game tournament. Nice standing moonsault from Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins in control most of this matchup. We thought he was going to be at a big disadvantage after the performance Andre had to advance here tonight. But the Beast Slayer is slaying the Giant. And Seth Rollins with the frog splash. And can Seth Rollins put Andre the Giant away with his rip-off version of the V-trigger? Seth Rollins is able to do it. And what you gotta consider an upset. Seth Rollins defeats Andre the Giant in the first match of the quarterfinals in the 2 out of 3 fall stipulation. I wonder what Jon Moxley has got to think about this. His former Shield brother and one of the men he had to defeat at Starrcade. Rebounding from that defeat in a huge way. And what if it's Seth Rollins to become the first ever undisputed GM Wars heavyweight champion? Time for the second match in the quarterfinals. You have hardcore legends, and then you have the hardcore icon, the ECW legend himself, the Sandman. And the crowd is going insane for the hardcore icon, the Sandman, who teamed with Seth Rollins in a qualifying match to be one of the 8 men to qualify for this tournament to represent the whole effing show's brand on the cross-promotional GM Wars Undisputed Heavyweight Title Tournament. And how amazing would it be if the very first GM Wars Heavyweight Champion is the Sandman himself, often imitated, never quite fully duplicated. Tonight, he has the advantage as far as the match stipulation. But if there's one man who can overcome the odds, if there's one man who could adapt under any situation, it's the man they call the best bout machine, the PWI #1 professional wrestler, Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega just like Seth Rollins came up short at Starrcade, but Kenny Omega was cheated out of his spot in the Elimination Chamber and forced to start the match. Nevertheless, he was the last person to be eliminated. His argument was that Jon Moxley was the last person to enter the match, and he was at a disadvantage having to start the match. Tonight, he has a huge opportunity to put that all behind him. As the winner of this tournament will have undoubtedly the biggest title in all of GM Wars. And right out the gate, Kenny Omega with a V-trigger to the Sandman. But it doesn't matter how many V-triggers Kenny Omega lands. The only way to win this matchup is by putting your opponent through a table. And in that regard, the Sandman is at a huge advantage. Any other time, I would say Kenny Omega, hands down, has the advantage over the Sandman. Whether it's age, athleticism, stamina, cardio, striking, grappling, overall wrestling skill. But Sandman is the hardcore icon for a reason. If there's one thing Kenny Omega is not going to have the advantage over the Sandman, it's in an Extreme Rules settings type matchup. He does not have the advantage in a street fight, in a brawl. And that is what the Sandman has got to make this matchup into. And Sandman wasted no time. He's going for that table. Out the gate, he realizes it doesn't matter what Kenny Omega does as long as he could get Kenny Omega through that table first. He advances. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to go to Twitch TV on your Twitch channel if you have one. If you don't have a Twitch, sign up and get a Twitch. It takes like 2 minutes. And then go follow the whole effing show. And if you have a Facebook, I know a lot of people don't be using Facebook like that no more. I hardly use it. But if you do still be on Facebook like that, then go on Facebook and go to the whole effing show and follow on there as well. I appreciate the support and thank you for tuning in to the quarterfinals of the cross-promotional Undisputed title tournament. And this is the whole effing show side. 4 quarterfinal matches. To get down to the semifinals and then the finals. The winner of this matchup will be taking on Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins and Kenny Omega definitely have some history. The Sandman and Seth Rollins advanced to their spots together, so they got a little bit of history as well. They both helped each other. So they both kind of got a story with Seth Rollins either way it goes. Kenny Omega following the Sandman out to the outside, but the Sandman knocking Kenny Omega's head off with the clothesline. I don't know how smart that leg drop was on the cement. Kenny Omega got up almost immediately, but the Sandman knocking him right back down. The Sandman turning this into a brawl. Kenny Omega is in a lot of trouble. He had a fast start with that V-trigger. But since then, the Sandman able to do exactly what I mentioned, and that's turn this into a fight. Sandman said, screw the wrestling match. You're in a fight. And Kenny Omega, this is not where you want to be. Sandman looking to pick Kenny Omega away in advance. Kenny Omega was lucky right there in that spot. Very lucky. Nice counter. Comes at an opportune time. Kenny Omega's been in trouble. Sees the table. And he sees he has an opportunity to put the Sandman away. Can the best bout machine advance? It looks like Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega defeats the Sandman in the table match. And after the Sandman having an advantage most of this matchup, the best bout machine does what he does best and finds a way to come out victorious. And what a huge victory for Kenny Omega. Just like Seth Rollins rebounding from that loss with a huge opportunity. And it's time for the third match in the quarterfinals of the GM Wars Undisputed tournament. These two were on the same team to qualify for their spots in the tournament. Ron Simmons, the first ever black heavyweight champion in WCW, looking to become the first ever heavyweight champion in GM Wars. And his opponent has a track record for doing well in tournaments. He made it to the finals in the TNT tournament. He's a two-time G1 tournament winner. Kota Ibushi, former tag team partner of Kenny Omega, just watched Kenny Omega advance in the tournament. And I know he looks to do the same. Normally, Kota Ibushi is a hands-on favorite. But tonight, that just might not be the case. Ron Simmons, one of the toughest wrestlers in all of professional wrestling. And this is a Hell in the Cell matchup. Here we go. Ibushi out the gate. Slaps Ron Simmons in a jawbreaker, demanding Ron Simmons respect. Kota Ibushi putting Ron Simmons on notice with the combination, but Ron Simmons shrugs it off. Hits Kota Ibushi with a backbreaker and slows Kota Ibushi down. Straight jab from Ron Simmons. And now Ron Simmons flexing on Kota Ibushi and bringing Kota Ibushi right back into the ring from the outside. Nice reversal, countering that shoulder block. And a spine buster from Ron Simmons slows Kota Ibushi down. Kota Ibushi. And I know that AEW2K universe have been clamoring for that matchup between Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega. And the only way that would even be possible at this time is if somehow Kenny Omega is able to win against Seth Rollins in the semifinals, and Kota Ibushi is able to beat Ron Simmons, and the winner of the final match here tonight, Walter and Bruiser Brody. That's a large task that Kota Ibushi has in front of him to climb. Not even a 1 count after a textbook German suplex. Ron Simmons, cut from a different cloth. He is a different breed of tough. And that's why I said tonight might be the one time Kota Ibushi might be at a disadvantage. Ron Simmons is old school tough. He's your grandfather tough. Spine buster. And Kota Ibushi just barely able to kick out. Ron Simmons came out of nowhere, debuting in this tournament. He made it in the qualifying round. And what a statement he can make here tonight if he's able to defeat Kota Ibushi. Kota Ibushi already in the power rankings. So to pick up a win over someone in the power rankings would be a major statement for Ron Simmons. Both of them trading hands and Ron Simmons getting the better of the exchange. Nice counter from Kota Ibushi. Kota Ibushi might want to rely on some strikes. And right when I say that, a kick right to Ron Simmons said in one moment. Kamagoy! The Kamagoy! Is that it? Ron Simmons able to kick out. Ron Simmons able to kick out. And Kota Ibushi cannot believe it. And Kota Ibushi starting to fire up. He caught his second win. But now, Ron Simmons looks to be catching his second win. What an exchange. And Ron Simmons with another spine buster. Kota Ibushi is in major trouble. This might be it. No, Ron Simmons throws him outside the ring. Kota Ibushi got a little bit lucky in my opinion right there, because Ron Simmons was heated up. And now Ron Simmons throwing Kota Ibushi back in the ring where he could win the matchup, and he's sizing him up. This looks bad for Ibushi. And that might be it. The spine buster. The third spine buster. But Kota Ibushi kicks out. Ron Simmons cannot believe it. Ron Simmons cannot believe it. I can't believe it. Shoot. I thought that was the match, bro. Kota Ibushi refusing to die. Refusing to give up. But Ron Simmons might give him no choice. Jawbreaker from Ibushi. Kota Ibushi. This will be a crazy comeback if Kota Ibushi could come back at this point in the matchup after the beating that he's endured by Ron Simmons. I said before the matchup, Kota Ibushi was nothing. One moment, Kota Ibushi with the second Kamegoi. And now Ron Simmons doing the impossible, kicking out of Kota Ibushi's finisher for the second time. And now it's Ibushi that is frustrated. What a matchup here tonight in this quarterfinal. This is match of the quarterfinals so far. These guys are still in the show, but there can't be too much left in either person. You gotta figure the next person to hit that major move is gonna win this matchup. And it looks like that person might be Ron Simmons. Ron Simmons has been just one step most of this matchup above Kota Ibushi, and it looks like he's sizing Kota Ibushi up. And he does for that spear. Ron Simmons with the spear. And Kota Ibushi kicks out from the spear. Kota Ibushi kicks out from his third finisher. But Ron Simmons says enough is enough. In the fourth spine buster, that has got to be it. And it is. Ron Simmons takes Kota Ibushi out of this tournament. What a matchup as we look at the replays. Man, I told you. Normally Kota Ibushi is that guy that you vote on. He is easy money to pick in a bet. But tonight, something told me, man, he might have just bit off more than he could chew. And that happened to be the case. Ron Simmons advancing to the semifinals. Man, whoever he takes on is going to be a good one. Bruiser, Brody, or Walter. And it is time for our main event. Thank you for tuning into the whole effing show on Twitch and Facebook. Make sure to leave a comment. It helps with the algorithm. And in this main event, we will decide the last person to move on to the semifinals on the whole effing show side of the GM Wars Undisputed tournament. We just saw a 5-star matchup between Ron Simmons and Kota Ibushi. And in the final match of the tournament, Bruiser, Brody, and Walter ended up drawing a normal matchup for their stipulation. No extreme rules. No disqualifications or false count anywhere. Table or ladder match. Just a standard professional wrestling matchup. And one man who is a master of a normal wrestling matchup. It is Walter, the General. But tonight, Walter will go one-on-one with a person from an era a lot of people like to say they would have loved to have seen Walter competed. Tonight, Walter goes one-on-one with another person like Ron Simmons, as I mentioned before. They're grandfather tough. They're cut from a different cloth. Bruiser Brody just might be that one man who can match Walter in that ring as far as strength and endurance. Tonight we are going to find out, can the General hang with that generation? Bruiser Brody eyeing Walter down outside the ring. Walter paying Bruiser Brody no mind. And here we go in this dream match. Main event. Out the gate, Walter with a double leg takedown straight into some mountain punches. And it's going to definitely take more than that to pick up the victory here tonight. Walter hoping for an easy night with that one. I don't know what he was thinking. Bruiser Brody is a giant. Just look at him. Winner of this matchup goes on to the semifinals to take on Ron Simmons. Winning actually gets you Ron Simmons. Just think about that. Would anyone actually want to win when you know what's waiting for you is Ron Simmons? I think these are the two men that match up pretty well with Ron Simmons in this tournament. So I'm looking forward to the semifinals either way it goes. Nice body slam from Walter. But it's going to take more than that. This is the first time I've seen Walter in the ring with somebody that's bigger than him, but Walter holding his own. Two big boots. And the ring general in control of this matchup so far. And Walter with one of his trademark chops took Brody right down, but Brody got right up with a Luthez mount. Brody Lee missing that elbow drop, but able to regain control of this matchup. And nice offensive maneuver from Walter. And still, Walter not able to get anything more than a 1 count in this matchup. Big boot from Walter, and that will definitely slow down Bruiser Brody. And now Walter deadlifting Bruiser Brody.
Why do you keep getting ready? You got something first.
And Bruiser Brody realizing Walter just might be able to hang even his, whoa, nice counter. Right when Walter was going for that lariat, trying to take Bruiser Brody's head off, he countered into a STO. Great instincts from the old school brawler. And as I mentioned before, people like Bruiser Brody and Ron Simmons, they're just a different kind of tough. And wow, DDT right on the edge of the ring, the hardest part of the ring. Walter knows he's in there in a fight. And Walter with a huge clothesline. He's ended matches with that clothesline before. But it's not enough to put Bruiser Brody away. And Walter, it looks like he is stalking Bruiser Brody And if Walter could hit this power bomb, that just might be it. He folded him. And Walter advances to the semifinals. And another person who was in that matchup that lost to Jon Moxley, able to advance and rebound. And what a matchup. Bruiser Brody gave Walter one heck of a fight, but Walter, the ring general, able to do what he always does, and that is win. And with Walter still in this tournament, everybody is in danger. Nobody is safe.